Hello everyone and welcome to my writing channel. If you're joining me from my lifestyle channel, hi, hello. But if you're not, if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Genevieve Scholl and my pen name is going to be Evelyn Campbell. But to make things easy, you guys can call me Eve. I am 35 years old and I've been writing for about 10 years, but I took a long hiatus. And I am now coming back. My original plan was to write under this pen name and only write YA and not tell anybody that it was me. But I've decided that I'm going to just embrace the fact that it's me. I'm still going to keep it separated from my old work in the way that it is a pen name, of course. And I'm basically starting over. Before I used to write only adult romance. Now I am writing young adult contemporary romance and may possibly mix in some young adult fantasy. However, I am also working on Vella stories under my real name, which is why this channel is called Two Names, One Dream, because I am writing under both my real name and a pen name, but they're going to be different things. So under my real name, through Vella, I am working on whodunit stories that are modeled after Agatha Christie's works in the style of writing and the way that the story unfolds, not, actually based off of her books. But I just very much enjoy her crazy mind for murder mysteries, and I want to try to find some of that talent and make it my own. Under the pen name Evelyn Campbell, I am working on, as I said, young adult. And I'm currently working on the first young adult contemporary romance that I hopefully plan to publish. It is a bit of a mess right now because it started out as one thing and then as I was writing became about 5 more other things, so it's a bit of a mess. But as of right now, it's just zero draft, which means I am just telling myself the story. So we're not going to worry about the fact that it's a mess. We're just going to get the story down into Scrivener and then we'll worry about fixing it later. Today is Monday, February 20th, and over the past weekend, I finally nailed down a writing schedule for myself. I had sort of had one before, but it wasn't exactly working for me. So I sat down and really thought about what I have going on in my life, which if you're here from my lifestyle channel, you'll know is a lot. And what times I actually can sit down and write. Because I am a pantser, not a plotter, I can't just sit down at any point and start writing because my life is insane. And My Complicated Life is the name of my other channel. So check that out over there if you're interested in seeing just how crazy my life is. But I need to have structure when it comes to my writing or I just don't do it. I especially need to know when and how long I'm going to be writing for because of the fact that my schedule is so insane that I do time blocking, but also because if I say, well, I'll finish my work for the day and then I'll write, like say I'll say 8 o'clock is when I finish my work for the day and then I'll write. The problem with that is I don't. I sit down, I watch TV, I watch vlogs, I eat junk food. I read, I do not tend to write because I'm tired, my brain is tired at that point and it just doesn't want to do it. So I procrastinate and then I don't write for weeks and weeks and weeks and then, I'm trying to get caught up and things are crazy. And so I determined my ideal schedule. It's not a lot of writing. I would love to be able to write more, and in a couple of months that might be reality, but for right now, I have to be true to myself and realize I don't have a ton of time to write. The schedule I came up with is that I'm going to work for 1 hour on the Vella story Mondays and Wednesdays. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock is my plan because my office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays end at 3, and so my official office hours, and so I can work starting at 3, and then dinner is typically between 4:30 and 5, so I feel if I work from 3 to 4, that's a good time for me to be on a roll with my work and continue into my writing, but also give me enough time to relax between finishing my writing and having dinner and jumping right back into my other stuff that I do. This might be very confusing to you, and I will quickly mention that I am In addition to being a writer, I have my own editing business. I am a personal assistant. I am opening a business with a friend. I'm a cat mom. I'm a daughter. I do the housework. There are a lot of things going on in my life. Lots of different branches of my life that I have to do in a day. It's not always every day, but you know, there tends to be some overlap. So after dinner, I tend to continue to work until 8 o'clock, which is my cutoff of everything except reading and relaxing and watching TV. And then my plan is whatever day I am home the most on the weekend is the day I'm going to work on the YA Contemporary. Now, I might work on it both days during the weekend, depending on what I'm doing, but it won't be, there will be one day during the weekend that will be the bulk of my writing. And that is because more often than not, one of those days during the weekend is usually time with my mom, grocery shopping, time with my best friend, you know, things that don't get done during the week. Now, this month, my best friend is off on Wednesdays, although there's only 1 week left of this month. So we tend to do Wednesdays. But if we weren't doing Wednesdays, I would be doing a weekend day with her. What happens if we do a weekday is also a challenge, because if we do a weekday together, then I have to realize that that's a weekday that I'm not doing my other work. And so I have to shove that onto the weekend. So, you know, more often than not, it's the same case where I only really have one day a week to really sit down and write, like a lot, like all day long. And so that is my plan. Obviously, if I have extra time at some point during the week, yeah, I'll sit down and write. But for the most part, this is going to be my schedule. Now, as I said, today is Monday the 20th, so that means I have to get working on my hour of the Vella story. It is already 3:19 because I knew I wanted to record this clip, so I'm going to get to work. But before I'm able to actually even boot up the laptop and open up the Vella story, I got this lovely tool from Amazon, which has a keyboard brush, and then these two tool portions are supposed to be for your AirPods, which I probably will use them for that, but I'm also going to use them because I have a clickety-clack keyboard, as we'd like to call it, typewriter type keys, and unfortunately because of that, it gets very dirty. Lots of dust in between the keys, lots of cat hair, lots of things that have to be regularly cleaned, and unfortunately, before I had the tool, that was not a possibility because there was no real good way to clean the keyboard. So I finally got this on Amazon. I will link it down below. It's very cheap. It does take a long time to get to you, however, so just keep that in mind, but I will link it down below. I will also link the keyboard because I did get that from Amazon as well. So yeah, I'm going to get to cleaning my keyboard and then we're going to get to work. So thanks for joining me for this first writing vlog, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so before I get started, here is my setup, my big giant coffee cup, which we'll get out of the way for the moment. I just, you know, like I said, a very small laptop because I like to be able to take it places with me, so the smaller the better. My lovely click-clack keyboard that's all lit up. This is a sparkling cinnamon candle. Back here are the markers and pens and stuff I use on my planners. Candle snuffer. Really cool vase, which actually is supposed to be turned that way because it's supposed to look like a roll of paper. These are all of my planning journals and notebooks that I use, my time tracker. Then we have my little gnome guy. Even though it's not spring, I don't care because he's cute. This came out of a wedding favor, and I just thought it was really cool, so I just kept it. And my lamp, which has a warm light bulb in it for nighttime, and of course, candle. And I'm right by the window, so I get to see the outside. And I have all of my lovely inspiration up on the top. So these over here are things I've written in the past. Then we have our craft books, and of course my bullet journal right there. My Love Is bear from Universal. Another candle, of course. And then this is just like a light bulb vase thing that I filled with a bunch of different colored beads because I thought it was cool. I apologize for the lighting right now. It's not the best. And then I have my geeky stuff, my Star Wars little Star Wars things, and then the best young adult author, Sarah Sutton, paperback books. And of course, my candle lighter is behind the bear, and it has this writer's block mug that another fantastic author gave me a while back, Dorinda Jones, and I just love it, but I don't drink hot coffee anymore, so I had to find another use for it. So that is my writing space. So now let's get writing. Excuse the fan for the moment, but it has to stay on because the litter box is in this room. But this is one of my big challenges as a writer. This very needy boy of mine always knows the wrong time to want my attention. And see, I'm not writing, so now he's getting up. Oh, come here. Want to say hi? This is my mischief boy. He's 7 years old. He's part American Shorthair, part Siamese. He's a rescue. I love him. He's a love bug. You know, he's constantly cuddling, but he always knows the wrong moment to want attention. Now that he's gone, let's get back to it. You know, the lighting would help if I actually opened up the blinds like I should. I'm done for my writing for the day. I got 400 words, which is great, honestly, for only an hour. As you can see on the clock there, it's a little bit later than 4 o'clock, but that's because I recorded the clip first. So I went from 3:30 and said I would go until 4:30. However, my clock on my writing computer is wrong, so I thought it was 4:30 already. And my mom gets out of work at 4:30, and then she comes home at about 4:45, and we cook dinner. So I'm gonna stop anyway. I got 400 words. I have a direction. I know where I'm going, which is much more than I could say yesterday, because I had written 4 episodes of my Bella story, and then realized something was wrong. But I couldn't identify what that thing was. So I sent it to one of my friends who kind of alpha reads for me usually, and she gave me her opinion, and we talked through it, and we decided the problem is that we needed to add in an investigator that was not the main narrator. So what my story is I started out with using a narrator who you were not supposed to know who their identity was. But the problem was having that person do the investigating didn't seem very realistic. So I decided I needed to add in an investigator that was not that character. Originally, I was going to have it just be like a regular cop, you know, in the town that we're in. This takes place at a vacation lodge. And I was just going to have it be the cop that comes to investigate a death. But I didn't love that. That character didn't feel right for the story, so I decided to scrap that, and then I had to figure out my detective investigator person all over again. And I had written an original idea and then scrapped it, and because it wasn't really motivating me, so I thought it was the wrong one yet again. But it turns out that one was the right one. It's just that it was not the right time to write it. So I went back and I revisited that investigator, and she is now officially my investigator. So that would be the 400 words I just wrote, is her introduction into the story. And instead of it being that she's there to investigate the crime, I made it that she was there on vacation, which was a forced vacation from her job as a cop. I felt like that was a little bit better introduction, a little bit less cliche. So she's still a cop, but she's not the cop, you know? So it's like not amateur investigator, but close to it. Somebody who's not supposed to be investigating the crimes. I'm very happy with that progress. So today is Friday. I was not able to write on Wednesday due to illness. So I tend to suffer from migraines. So, you know, when that comes about, there's not much you can do about it. You just kind of have to lay down and wait it out. So since I did not write on Wednesday, I'm going to try to write today. However, I have an interesting task ahead of me. A book that is coming out from another young adult author soon is quite similar to what I'm writing. So I have the unpleasant task of deciding whether I am going to scrap the whole thing or really figure out a way to reimagine it so that it is not so close to this book. Now, you know, I'm not claiming that anybody stole this book from me. I'm not claiming any copyright or anything on this idea. And I know the same idea has been told multiple times and sometimes it just happens. But I really don't want my story to be so close to this other story. I'm not going to mention whose story it is or what book it is, but I just don't feel comfortable now with the close similarities with my book and her book. So yeah, I have to decide which is going to be better for my book, whether I need to really revamp the whole thing and find a way to make it unique, or if I just have to scrap it and start something else. I really don't want to scrap it. It kills me to think of that idea, but if it's what's best for my book, then I'm not going to have a choice. I'm not going to make that rash of a decision right now. I am going to keep writing, and then we'll see where we are. But I have that in the back of my head, and it's going to be a tough decision, but I'm going to try to get some writing in, and hopefully the answer comes to me as I'm typing. We shall see. I wrote 347 words in my Vella story because I forgot I have to write my Vella story too, because I didn't write on Wednesday, but I don't think I like them. The character is kind of coming across mean, I guess, and uncaring, and I don't want her to be that way. So it's back to the drawing board for the investigator. So we're gonna delete all of those words and start again. since I recorded a clip because I have not been able to write due to lots of different things. But it is now Saturday, March 4th. 4th? Yes, 4th. March 4th, and I'm going to sit down and try to work on my YA contemporary romance. As I mentioned in a previous clip, I have to decide if I want to change up my story because it kind of is a little similar to a story that just came out. I was thinking about it over this past week, and it's actually not the story that's similar, it's just some small concepts in the story. So I think I'm okay. I think I can leave it alone at least for now and then worry about it later if I feel like it has to come out. And I'm gonna also, once I have it all written, I'm gonna also send it to that author whose book just came out and make sure she doesn't feel that I'm copying her. We talk to each other on social media, so I feel comfortable sending it to her once it's done, once it's, you know, ready to even think about being published. It's not the same plot, it's not even the same characters. It's just there's some concepts within the story that are similar to some concepts within her story. So I just want to make sure nobody thinks anything is being copied. And, you know, I respect her as an author, so I feel like I would want to get her opinion anyway, just to be sure. Knowing that, I'm going to just keep working, just keep writing scenes based on the concept and the characters and not worry too much about the nitty-gritty, because the whole thing is going to have to be edited anyway because it's quite a big mess, like I've said. So I'm not too worried about that right now. I'm just going to keep exploring the characters, exploring the plot and the idea of the story. And when I get to a point where I think I can start editing it, then I will worry more about the individualized things, the beats, stuff like that. Right now it's really just, I'm sort of using beats. I'm sort of using the beats for a YA contemporary, but I'm not really stuck in them. They're more like a guideline than anything. If I miss one, I miss one. I can write it later. But it is kind of my guideline for what I'm writing and, you know, the scenes I'm coming up with. So, but it definitely will need some work later on down the line. It's 2:19 right now, and I have not written a single word yet today, so I'm going to get started, and I will check in with you guys a little bit later and let you know how it went. And yeah, then I think this vlog will finally be ready to edit and go up as the first video on the channel. So I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I haven't looked at the footage since I started recording for this video, so I don't know even what's going to be involved or if it's even going to be coherent, but I want this to be a fun channel that, you know, no pressure, no worries about doing it correctly. I just want to share my writing with you guys, and I hope you like it. So let's get writing for this Saturday, this snowy Saturday. Let me go get my glasses before I start, otherwise I will regret it later. It is 4:30-ish about, and I am done for the day. I finally set a goal for the deadline to finish the first draft for May 17th because I go on my cruise on we leave May 19th. We go on the cruise May 20th. So I want to try to get the first draft done before we go on the cruise. So Scrivener is telling me that I have to write 1,200 words on every Friday and Saturday, which is doable. I did do it today. I hit it. Yay. I don't love the words I wrote, but that's okay. I wrote them. They can always be edited later. Can't edit a blank page. I was gonna set it for just writing on Saturdays because that was what my original schedule was when I started this vlog, but to do that, it said I would have to write 2,300 words a day, and that's not doable for me. I know that that's not doable for me. So I am going to have to adjust some things and make sure I write on Fridays as well as Saturdays in the YA contemporary romance, but that's okay. I can figure that out. Overall, for the manuscript, I'm at about 28,000 words, so that's good. We're going right along. First draft target is 50,000 words, of course, but then obviously that's going to change as I edit. I am just about at the end of Act 2, so then we have to work on Act 3 and then go back and fill in some of the blanks before we can consider the first draft done. So I think May 17th is a good target, especially with only writing 2 days a week in it, and I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. So yeah, that's my writing for today, and I think that's also going to effectively end this vlog for the first writing vlog of this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure if you did, you give it a very big thumbs up because that really does help my channel get noticed and bring in more people who are interested in hearing about this journey of mine, writing in 2 different names and 2 different genres and 2 different ways. So yeah, that is going to do it. And if you enjoyed this video, like I said, give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So bye.